Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh. Again, over again, it's me, Asif Bakar Osman, Sudanese lawyer and Sudanese legal system specialist. As we always zooming out the divisions of our Sudanese legal system. And my channel is taking on shoulder the task of simplify what is the Sudanese legal system. So our today's topic is relating to the family disputes and which law should be applied over the family disputes in Sudan. In Sudan, we have two parallel systems for the family disputes. One for the non-Muslim families and the other is for the Muslims families. For non-Muslim families, the courts always apply the act of the Coptic Orthodox. It's generally a Christian act, but mainly for the Muslims families and Muslims families disputes, the courts always apply the Muslims Family Act, which is came into the effect in 1991. Broadly speaking, our Sudanese legal system has many divisions. Some of them civil disputes and the other for the criminal disputes. This as main division. The family disputes lying down in the division of the civil courts. For Muslim and non-Muslims, the jurisdiction is always for the civil courts. But inside these civil courts, there's a circuit of the Muslims or non-Muslims courts. For the family relating issue, the Act of 1991 is the third one for the Muslims in 1991, which is came into force in 1991. It's a third. It's the third codified law. The first one came into force in 1902, which was a procedural law or procedural act in its provisions. After that act, we have the second one, which came to force in 1915, which is in somehow subjective or substantial and procedural law. Our today's law is more substantial than procedural, but in the same time or in the meantime, it's a procedural act and substantive act for the Muslims families disputes and addressing their issues inside a codified provisions for the Muslims families. This act also has a special way for proving the disputing issues. Special act, special rules for evidence to proving the disputing issues, which is different than the way of the criminal courts and the civil courts. One last thing, this act, I mean the Muslims Families Act, it's a codified act which is came into force through a parliament. So there is no relation between this act and the Muslim scholars' opinions. no relation between the Muslims Act and the Muslim scholars' opinions. Historically, and through or during the discussion of this the bill of this act inside the parliament, those opinions taken into account. But now, after the declaration of this act, no more consideration will be given to any Muslims scholar opinion. It's a civil and family act, has a specific provision. Judges need to follow them. Judges need to follow them and apply them down upon their discussing issues. That was all. It's me again, Asaf Bakr Osman. See you later on another topic.